As is common practice in child abduction cases, the parents have to be ruled out. So during this process, Elisa did a polygraph test where she would ask questions like if she heard Zahra, did she know someone who had heard Zahra, and if she knew who wrote the ransom note. Elisa failed the polygraph test. Now, Adam was also questioned, but the questions focused more on if he knew anything about Elisa's involvement. Well, hey, howdy, hi! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by to join me today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Ellie, and I'm a witch. This over here is my teaching assistant, Andy, and today is Tuesday, and on my channel it means it is tea time and true crime. And today's true crime case is the case of Zahra Baker. This is not the only series that I do on my channel though. On Sundays I talk about cryptids, and on Mondays I talk about history, so definitely check those out if you're interested in either of those. And then, per usual, my tea, in case anybody wonders if I actually drink tea, yes, it's in there. Uh, it is a spiced chai, which is actually really good, but really hot to hold. So we're gonna jump into the video. So before I jump into the case, I do have a couple of trigger warnings. So today I will be talking about abuse of a child specifically, murder of a child, dismemberment of a child, and amputation. If that makes anybody uncomfortable at all, definitely go ahead and click out, and I'll see you in another video. For those of you that do decide to stick around, today's case is about Zahra Claire Baker. And she was born November 16th of 1999, her parents being Emily Dietrich and Adam Baker, and they lived in New South Wales initially. However, Zahra's mother did suffer with severe postpartum depression, and doing what she felt was best for her daughter, she signed over custody to Adam. He then moved Zahra to be with his parents in Queensland, and Zahra was later diagnosed with bone cancer and lung cancer, and as a result of the cancer, she ended up losing a portion of her left leg, as well as her hearing started to go. Her father eventually met a woman named Lisa Fairchild on an internet social media site that was called IMVU. Now, Lisa flew out to Queensland to see Adam, and the two ended up married not long after that. This was not Elisa's first marriage, however. She had actually been married 6 times before, and she was actually still married when she met and married Adam. So the two did make plans after they were married to move the family to the United States and to North Carolina specifically, where Elisa was from. And luckily, Zahra's cancer went into remission in 2008, and it was at this point that the family made the big move. The family moved to Hickory, North Carolina, and Zahra was enrolled in a public school where she actually settled in very nicely. Unfortunately, she was shortly removed from the school, so Elisa told the school that she would begin to homeschool Zahra, although it's less likely that was the best choice for her, but rather to stop social services from being called, which was something that had happened before. Protective services had been called on Elisa in regards to her own biological children as well as Zahra. In Zahra's case, the neighbors had reported that Eliza was mentally, physically, and emotionally abusive, and the school called when Zahra had showed up to school with a black eye. Child Protective Services ended up not doing anything in the case, and Zahra remained in the home. On October 9th of 2010, police received a call at 5:30 in the morning from Elisa reporting a fire in the home. When police arrived, they found a ransom note as well as they noted the smell of gasoline coming from Adam's work truck. This is not the only 911 call that the family made that day. The second one came at 2 p.m., and this call was to report Zahra as missing. In the second report, Adam explained the weird happenings that had been going on. So the night before, he had found the ransom note on his truck, and it asked for $1 million. However, it was actually addressed to Adam's boss. So him thinking that the fire was just set intentionally as a distraction for the kidnapping of Zahra, who the kidnapper thought was Adam's boss's daughter. The last time that Zahra was seen was by Adam, and that was at 2:30 that morning. As is common practice in child abduction cases, the parents have to be ruled out. So during this process, Elisa did a polygraph test where she would ask questions like if she heard Zahra, did she know someone who had heard Zahra, and if she knew who wrote the ransom note. Elisa failed the polygraph test. Now, Adam was also questioned, but the questions focused more on if he knew anything about Elisa's involvement. Now, since Elisa failed the polygraph test, police needed to gather evidence that was admissible in court, so they used cell phone data, which I will get into in a little bit. October 10th of 2010, police dogs were brought to the Baker home. Now, these dogs alerted that there was traces of human remains on both of the Baker's car, so police took swabs of what appeared to be blood on Elisa's car. Aside from the suspicion about her involvement in Zahra's disappearance, Elisa was arrested for communicating threats, writing bad checks, larceny, and driving with a revoked license. She was also charged with obstruction of justice, and she finally admitted that she did actually write the ransom note in order to lead the police away from her. So after her arrest, Lisa's bond was set at $40,000. However, this was later increased to $65,000 when she was deemed a flight risk. Her daughter Amber had come forward to say that her mother was talking about leaving North Carolina just the day before she was arrested. It was alleged that Zahra had died after dealing with an illness for 2 weeks, at which point Adam and Elisa dismembered her body, and Elisa's aunt Bonzetta Brinkler said that she'd, quote, been sick for 2 weeks before she died, and when they found her, I guess they didn't know what to do. They just went wild, end quote. Elisa claimed it was all Adam, and he was the one who dismembered her body after she died, that she had nothing to do with it, and she also said that Zahra had died on September 24th, but she wasn't reported missing until October 9th. Eric Geen, who is a crime memorabilia dealer, allegedly wrote to Elisa twice after she was arrested using a pseudonym. He claims she wrote back and said, quote, "We really didn't kill her, but what he did after the fact is kind of horrifying. It makes me scared of him," end quote. So despite claims that it was Adam, Elisa began telling authorities where they disposed of Zahra's body. She told her lawyer that they could find Zahra's prosthetic leg in a dumpster at Fox Ridge Apartments. Now this dumpster had already been taken to the landfill, however police did find a prosthetic leg on the side of the road, and using the serial numbers on the leg and matching it to medical records, it was conclusively decided to be Zahra's. In November of 2010, Elisa took police to different locations to collect Zahra's remains. She took police to a dumpster behind a grocery store where the couple had tossed a car cover and a bed cover, which were used to hide and transport Zahra's body. Elisa also admitted to dumping Zahra's mattress in a dumpster, and the police were later able to find a mattress that matched the description in the landfill. Several bones were found, but it wasn't until several years later that the head was located. Elisa also admitted police would find some of Zahra's remains in the tub drain, and the gloves that she was wearing during the process were still in the bathroom. Unfortunately, no cause of death could be determined, and the final ruling was undetermined violent homicide. So Elisa had said it was all Adam who committed the crime, and then they both disposed of the remains. However, cell phone towers placed only Elisa in the area police recovered the remains. It was then assumed that Elisa had done the killing, dismemberment, and disposal entirely alone without Adam's knowledge. This is the theory that prosecutors ran with. Now, Elisa was then indicted by the grand jury for second-degree murder with aggravating circumstances. Those circumstances being, Elisa had a history of physical, verbal, and psychological abuse towards Zahra. She hid Zahra from the family before and after the crime. She desecrated Zahra's body to obstruct the investigation and prosecution. Zahra was a disabled child. Eliza took advantage of her position of trust, and the only reason she was not charged with first-degree murder was due to her leading police to the remains. Adam was never charged with the murder, as no credible evidence could be found to connect him to the crime. He was, however, charged with identity theft in 2011, and he had been using the identity and social security number of one of Eliza's ex-husbands, and Eliza was also charged with identity theft in 2011 for using her own daughter's information illegally. Eliza ended up pleading guilty to the murder of Zahra and was sentenced to 18 years. She then got an additional 10 for various drug charges, and she is required to serve a minimum of 25 years. So that is all I have for you today. That is another kind of really sad case and very disappointing, the outcome. Most of us would have liked to see a life sentence in this case, but plea deals and all that is understandable. So yeah, less sad stuff coming up. I some time ago uploaded Creatures of Christmas, where I talk about reindeer and all that fun stuff. Yesterday I talked about the history of Santa Claus, and then on Christmas Day I'll be releasing a video talking about the history of Christmas. I also have cryptid videos that are different. They're not heavy like cases like this are. But yeah, so today is day like 8, 9, 10? 8 or 9, I believe. 7 or 8, I believe, of Kilmas. So I will have another video out in a few hours related to that, which will be another true crime case. Sorry. But coming up towards Christmas, I do have, I'm going to be reading Christmas Tales, give you a little bit of history, and then on Christmas Eve, I'll give you the history of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and read it to y'all. But with all that being said, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and suggest things in the comments, say hello, I don't know, do a thing. And then if you didn't like the video, go into that thumbs down button and tell me what you think I can improve in the comments. I appreciate that as well. Just make sure that it is constructive criticism and you're not being cruel. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!